Ferdinand Duruoha joins me now in the studio, fresh from the first-hand experience there in Maiduguri. Ferdinand, welcome back. It's good to have you.
Thank you so much.
On Newsnight. I mean, tell us more about what you saw. I mean, one cannot begin to appreciate the tragedy in Maiduguri. You have to be on ground to appreciate the devastation.
Now, that's exactly why we had to do a quick in and out, personally, well, to see things for myself. And it's because it's a double jeopardy, like they say. Well, it's a town recovering from, insurgency. Lots of the IDP camps were closed. Some of them gone back to their places, to their ancestral homes. And unfortunately, well, these devastating floods, and they find themselves back into the camp again. Now we're talking about close to 400,000 people or thereabouts. Well, that's the statistics from Neymar. And that particular camp that I visited, the Bakassi camp, was housing over 14,500. Talking about those registered, yes, I saw them. I saw the register myself, and you just want to feel for them. Children scrambling for anything they can find that looks like food, no water. And the sad thing with flooding is, it's not just about displacement. It comes with disease. Absolutely. And then when it comes with disease, there are concerns about disease. And then when it comes with it, and then you also realize that, yes, where do you run to? The hospitals themselves were affected.
Speaking of where to run to, before these floods or flooding happened, there were early warning signs. Yes, we've been told there's a need for even stronger, earlier, warning systems to be put in place.
True.
From what you saw, to what extent would you say the state government, indeed the federal government, was prepared, to mitigate the impact of this flood when it came?
Let me tell you something. From what we gathered, we heard that just as recently as last week, a committee was sent to go and take a look at the Alao Dam to see exactly if there was any risk. And guess what? The committee came back, and for them it was on the negative, that everything was fine. And just a couple of days back, this disaster happened. The dam overflooded and broke its banks, and this is exactly where we are. Now, the sad point is that there are still persons who are trapped. Now, we spoke to some of the military officers off record. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to some of those very interior places, and that's because you go in there, you just can't come out easily. Now, we spoke to some of the military personnel who definitely have been at the forefront and then trying to help out as well. And they complain about logistics, and that's because, some of this, they complain about logistics, they complain about infrastructure. That's because, you have to move these things. And how do you move them when the roads themselves, we started the VT with a look at, some of the roads, some of the bridges connecting the towns and Maiduguri itself are beginning to cave in.
Ferdinand, before I let you go, one issue that's been, boggling observers, the issue of ecological funds. Right, we hear that the president has given 3 billion naira to each state. The governor of Borno State has confirmed that he has received his 3 billion. But on the issue of ecological funds, they are meant to address these issues before they arise.
I think that's the underlying thing.
In 2023, we hear that the state government, I'm talking about Borno specifically now, did not spend anything on the environment and ensuring that this disasters are minimized when they happen. In 2024, in 4 months, only 20 million has been spent.
It's sad, and that's because when you take a look at Borno State, I've been there a couple of times this year trying to look at the situation, the city recovery, the state recovering from insurgency, and you see that the government have done a whole lot in terms of that perspective, security-wise, trying to resettle these persons. And sometimes there's a setback, the insurgents come, chase them back, and then they still have to do a whole lot more. But it's sad to see that, we have not taken these discussions further. Now, don't forget, it's not just about 2023. We saw the signs we had lots of casualties in 2012, and I think the nation was supposed to take a major stand at that point. When you remember that flood incident that affected more than 30 states, we're supposed to take a stand at that point. That was exactly when they set out that ecological fund, so that states should begin to prepare. But we didn't see lots of states, even with NEMA making all the complaints, and then also even the meteorological agencies, shouting above their voices, talking about states that were going to see floods. And we didn't see most of these states react.
Kind of proactive measures
no
put
proactive
in place.
measures put in place.
Really
and right now, there are people who are stranded. They can't get to some of these persons, and it's very very bad. There are some graves that have been exhumed, washed off due to the flooding. There are sewage systems have been washed off due to flooding. I saw that for myself, even at the University Teaching Hospital. And when you begin to question issues concerning hygiene in a hospital as major as the University Teaching Hospital, well, the medical director did say that there were the cleaning measures, the cleaning have started, but then it wasn't just about cleaning. You also have to disinfect before they could even bring in people. So even when casualties were coming in, they just couldn't accept them all, and that's because where do they take them? They had to evacuate the down floors and then take them to the second floor. And so a whole lot more needs to be done. But I think you did hit the nail on the head when you talked about proactive measures. We have to be proactive. That dam, showed signs. Our correspondent, Sani
structural integrity.
Of structural integrity.
Right.
The dam showed signs even as far back as a couple of months back, and we're supposed to ask questions, but unfortunately,
well, we are asking the questions now, and we hope something will be done, drastically about this situation. Hopefully, of course, we're having NEMA next, and they should be able to respond to some of these questions. Ferdinand Duruoha, as always, thank you very much for your work.